Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talking Numbers. It's our Talking Numbers Mastering Profit series, and it's great to be here. We are here thanks to Profitmaster Global Outsourcing. Welcome to episode 5. My name's Paul Jansz, and I'm here back with the founder and CEO of Profitmaster Global Outsourcing, Richard Croaker. How are you? Welcome back.
Very, very well, thanks, Paul. Welcome back as well. Welcome back. Sorry, mate, I'm back in the Philippines.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter where you are as long as you're with us. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, because that's the thing nowadays. Wherever we're working, whether we're working from home, whether we're working from the office, whether it's a hybrid model, these are all the challenges, I suppose, that all accounting firms and leaders have, managers have, with the ability to lead our people to greater heights and making sure that I've always believed from my coaching background, the more you lead your people, and I believe they're the number one asset of every business, they will provide the service to your clients, and your clients will come back and pay for more services, therefore increasing the availability of capacity and therefore output and therefore profitability. So that's my thought process on it.
Yeah, I agree. And when you talk about the hybrid and work from home models and how they're going to impact upon our profession, it's an additional discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, today we're going to talk about achieving maximum client satisfaction. Now, if you're listening to this and you've sort of looked at our first 4 episodes, this is episode 5. So we're going to talk about how you can get to achieving maximum client satisfaction. And this is something that I'm going to take you guys that are listening to this through some of the, let's call it the bad news based on a report from PwC. And then we're going to work on some of the key things that you can start thinking about. Again, this whole Talking Numbers, Mastering Profit series is all about how you can get better people engagement to improve your profit. But in order to do that, you need to get client engagement as well. So we're mixing a little bit together. Now, let's talk about some of the bad news from this PwC report, which was experience is everything. Here's how to get it right. So this is something that, again, if you want to know about this, this will be up on our website soon. So let's firstly address the bad news. I'll give you some stats. Being accountants, 32% of customers will stop interacting with a brand after one bad experience. 50% of customers will do so after several negative experiences. And then we got this one, 60% of customers will switch brands due to an unfriendly service. Now, me personally, I personally believe those numbers could be a bit low. I think it could be a lot higher. Personally, if I have a bad experience, I'll switch straight away. Okay, so unless there is a really good follow-up strategy to facilitate what went wrong and how they may change that, I know personally, and I've done it, if I have a bad experience, I just won't go back there, especially in today's world with competition. So this is the great thing about understanding the numbers, but then what we're going to go through today, Rich, is given your level of experience, let's talk about that. And let's bring some of the positives and some of the good news into this episode of achieving maximum client satisfaction. So, mate, what do you think clients are looking for? Let's tap into that to start off with.
Well, it's an experience, but they are not only looking for professionalism, but they're looking for relationship as well. You mentioned about those numbers about people who will change brands after a certain period of negative experiences. Accountants are a unique breed that we tend to bolt onto our clients very, very well. And our clients, we have this personal relationship with our clients that actually allows us to be really bolted on to the client relationship. We shouldn't take that for granted. And, particularly in the competitive environment as it is today, and the pressure that we have on being able to meet deadlines and being able to provide advice in a timely fashion and everything like that, we should not take that relationship for granted. So first up, I'd say that while we are bolted on, we shouldn't take it for granted, and we need to make sure that we still have the steps to make sure that people have a great client experience. I was actually reading recently about in a European accounting journal about the reasons why people change accountants. So rather than just the brand, but the reason why people change accountants. And, there were 4 major outcomes out of that. And, the trouble with accountants is we tend to be guilty of those things. And we, if we self-assess these things, and I actually wrote them down, so it's probably worth sharing them with.
Yeah, go. Absolutely.
Yeah. But the first one was poor communication. So the clients often feel that it's very hard to get a hold of their accountant. And that creates a negativity straight up. And I've seen it in my own businesses that for whatever reason, accountants find it quite difficult to get in touch with their clients because of their own workloads or whatever, but it has an impact. And as accountants, we need to be thinking about that. The second one was lack of expertise or service quality. And I've also seen that as well, particularly as I moved from my business services practice into my specialised practice in insolvency and performance improvement. That the best accountants that I see are those who recognise their skill set and recognise when another skill set is required, and then be able to draw that in. So the negative point out of it, though, is that lack of experience is a cause of lack of expertise is a reason why people move on. And the third one was a cost versus value analysis that people felt that was also a reason for change. And then there was also just the personal fit between the accountant and the client. Clients are very close to their accountants, and there needs to be a personal fit. So that was the fourth reason that people.
Fantastic. And just to recap on that, so poor communication, lack of expertise and quality, cost versus value, and the personal fit. So I agree 100%. I think in the past, it was probably cost. I think a lot of our industry, again, my coaching background comes into a little bit of this here as well, because we had to deal with a lot of firms that were struggling to show the value. Okay, so they're very quick to do something, then send an invoice. Very quick to do something, sending invoice. But when the client receives the invoice, they talk about, well, what value did I receive for that? Okay, so, and when we talk about certain areas, we've often spoken about, even in a marketing sense, people tend to focus on the what, but people buy the why. So again, the why is the benefit. What's the benefit? So to all of you that are listening to this as well, think about this as a part of your strategy to, again, creating this this fantastic experience for clients is, are you displaying the value? So someone might call up and talk about, I don't know, and I used to talk about this a lot. So someone calls up and talks to their accountant. They're about to buy a new car. What should I buy it in? Is it a hire purchase? What sort of agreement should I be going into? And then we might send them an invoice for $300. But we actually haven't told them that by buying it in that particular agreement that we might have saved them $10,000. Okay, so that's the value, that's the benefit. We might have been able to get the GST. There's all sorts of different elements there, but we don't tell clients that. Now, whether that's a level of just, again, you said it before, time. We don't have the time. We've got to make the time though. So all those 4 things are absolutely brilliant. So well done. So mate, what typically happens from your point of view if this, again, if it happens from a customer point of view, the experience, the knowledge, they have a really positive client experience, what typically happens?
Oh, well, a positive client experience creates more work, to be honest, but it's also a more enjoyable relationship as well. So, positive experience, more work, better opportunities for both the client and the accountant. So the experience is really twofold. Definitely.
And if you've learned this, really another important one is, if a client has had a good experience, that's also, if you're looking to grow, which I haven't met too many accounting firms that are not looking to grow, but if you're looking to grow your firm, that is also a great opportunity to ask for a referral.
Yeah.
So again, another great one where, a lot of firms aren't great in asking for referrals. So they've had a great experience. That's when you want to ask. Yeah. By the way, Paul, we're looking for more clients just like you. Do you have anyone that you work with or know of anyone that may be looking for a new accountant?
Well, that comes back to that personal fit. You know, when you have a personal fit with your client, it's very easy to talk to them about, you know, referral opportunities.
Spot on, spot on. And I suppose we're living in a different world today, you know. So when I was coaching firms 15 years ago, today everything's driven by the internet. Look at this, we're doing this now on Zoom, and you know, we didn't have access to that sort of thing probably 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So you look at what we can do now. So again, if you've got positive experiences, find out a way to get that. I know we'd almost ask for a testimonial as an example. Nowadays, Google reviews are probably more important, because the first thing anybody will do, they'll jump online, they'll do a search for you, they'll look at your website, and then they'll look at your reviews. And I'll guarantee you, if it's a 2-star as opposed to a 5-star, people's opinions get changed straight away. So if you've got positive experiences out there, ask clients, is it okay? Send them the link. Okay. Is it okay if you leave us with a Google review? Do it. Social media is massive for that nowadays, and Google reviews are even more important. Have you had any experience, Rich, in reaching out to clients again to ask them, apart from phone calls, or have you done surveys? Have you done anything like that? That you know that you can share?
Yeah. Look, to be honest, the idea of surveys and so on, I certainly understand why we would need to do them. My own experience has been it's the personal relationship thing, you know, and that's possibly because of the type of work that I do. But yes, in a new way of doing things, the ability to capture opportunity through internet relationships and more data-driven relationships, such as surveys and so on, certainly don't underestimate them. They're not my experience, but I'd certainly be interested in getting involved in them. And I've seen some of the things that you've done. They've been very, very good. So that's only my lack of knowledge and experience of that particular thing.
Yeah. Well, let me share a little experience that was only last 2 weeks ago, actually. So I decided that, because so this goes back to what we said before in terms of that percentage and how I switch if I have a bad experience. Now, I had a bad experience with my car being serviced probably last year, and they tried to do the wrong thing by me, and I swore I was never going to go back to them. So I switched providers. I went to one dealer and I didn't like it. Bang, I went to a new dealer. Let me give you an example of the difference of what happened. So as I was leaving the dealership 2 weeks ago, I had the car serviced. The guy walked me to the car. He said, by the way, is it okay if we send you a survey? It'll only take you 30 seconds to fill out. Were you satisfied? It's a rating out of 5, 2 questions. And if you've got anything else to add, please add it. I said, absolutely, Matt, that'd be fantastic. So again, see how personal that was. Would it be okay if we send it to you rather than just sending it to you? Is there anything else we can do for you? No, it was great. Got the survey the next day, gave him 5 stars, gave him 5 stars for everything, communication, all that sort of stuff. And there was another section. It was a little bit disappointing because 2 days later, when I got the survey, my car battery, the actual remote control, the battery was out of battery, and it popped up on my car and said, please replace the battery. And I thought, gee, that's disappointing. Sort of 48 hours ago, I was actually getting it serviced. It would have been great if they told me that. I noted that in the survey. It was unfortunate that this notification came up on my car. Wish I knew that 48 hours ago. Bang, he called me straight away. Said, mate, thank you for the survey. Thank you for the 5 stars. By the way, I noticed that you noted about the battery on your remote control. He goes, when can you come in next? I said, oh, look, I could be around in the area tomorrow. I went in there. I took my young bloke with me because he was unwell. We went into the dealership. He goes, give me 10 minutes. Now, what do you do in a dealership when you're waiting for something? They offered me a coffee. They offered my young bloke a hot chocolate, and you look at cars. Okay. So he's gone and fixed that for me. I said, oh, how much do you want for that? He said, no, it's free of charge. I should have picked that up 2 days earlier. More importantly, I've looked at a brand new car, and the opportunity that now comes with that for the dealership and maybe the business finance. Think about all the other little areas that come with that. Now, I haven't decided whether I'm buying a new car, but they've got me interested in buying a new car. because I've got to do everything before 30 June because of tax. So there's some really good things there, that good experiences. A good experience would lead you, and I'm talking about it right now, about this particular BMW dealer, as opposed to the poor one that I had with another BMW dealer. So really important to share that.
Yeah, I know, I like your thinking, and I agree with you. I've had the same experience.
Yep, brilliant. And that's what, again, so think about that from our own sort of when you're running your firm and the experience and sharing that. I know there's a term that a lot of tech companies use, which is a CX. You know, a lot of tech companies now, and you know, we're driven by tech. Okay, now it's tech and AI, artificial intelligence. A lot of it's driven by what they call the term CX, which is a client experience. Okay, it's not a CE, it's a CX. Don't ask me why. But a lot of them now have got a strategy for that as well. So think about, for everyone that's online, think about, do you have a client experience strategy? What does it mean? How do you implement it? How do you go about grabbing some really key information and bringing it back to the team? How can you use that for future growth and profitability? I think they're all fantastic things that you can start doing. Would that be fair to say, mate?
Well, we're doing it in our own business. Exactly that. We have a client experience officer, CXO, she's called, and she has a defined strategy on how we have our ongoing relationships with our clients, and we interrelate, because of the type of business we are. We actually interrelate that with the experience that's occurring with the operations manager as well. So it's an integrated experience, but definitely. It's been a great opportunity for us to find out information from our clients on how we can better show them a better experience.
Yeah, fantastic. And sometimes it's just as simple. To everyone listening to this, we're looking to wrap up episode 5 really soon. So sort of one of the things that I used to do as well when I ran a pretty big business was, when I'm with clients, I used to just ask them, look, is there anything else that we could do that we're not doing for you? What a great question. Is there anything else that we can do for you that we're not currently doing for you? Now, you grab all that back, you take that back to the team. We used to call it a think tank session. So we used to do a 20-minute think tank session every Wednesday morning. The team used to come in early. So I used to grab coffees, I used to grab muffins, make it a bit of fun. And I'd done the prep. I'd put it up on the whiteboard before everyone gets in there to say, here's the top 3 things that I picked up this week. And we talk about it as a team and say, what's the solutions? What can we bring to the table? And I sort of put it up on the board and I step away. I'll let the team decide on what we can do. So those are the sorts of things, again, this is about helping you guys in terms of education, in terms of building strategies into your business. If that can help, please take it and run with it. You know, it's certainly not licensed to me. I think it's a really easy thing that, you know, that you can ask clients. Take it back to the team. As the leader, we step away, let the team find solutions. So just something that I've used in the past to great success. Rich, that probably wraps up. There's probably one last thing I'm going to talk to you about, and that's how you can become a customer-centric brand. Before we wrap up, is that something you can talk about, mate?
Well, certainly in the sense of how we're working with Profitmaster. I mean, the whole client experience thing that we're working through. I mean, we're even learning about it ourselves on how to build that client experience for our people. But one of the things that I think is extremely important is consistent quality. So a client-accountant relationship is over a period of time. And there's an expectation of not only high service and high quality, but consistent quality over that period of time. And I think as partners in firms, we need to make sure that our systems and processes and relationships ensure that we have that consistency of quality. And the client experience, the CX, as you call it, or the CXO, as I call it, is probably the best conduit to your client to be able to identify that. That's one thing I'd say. The other thing is just talking to your clients. I know that the best relationships that I've had are when we just talk. And I'm not talking about the footy and all that sort of stuff, but just talking about the business, leading questions, but also, just allowing the client to be able to talk through. Just that thing allows the client an opportunity to unload on a lot of things that they might be thinking about, but have had no other opportunity to talk about. And that comes back to that initial thing that I said, that the relationship between client and accountant is an extremely close one. That's what I'd add to that.
100%. And I think, again, just to give it, whether it's a CXO, so again, you can think about introducing this into your firm if you wish to do this. The ability to, and it's a strategy that we put in place when I was coaching as well with firms, that we would have someone following up clients, especially big clients, in terms of just following up when the job has gone out. One, did you receive it? Nowadays, everything goes out by email, but still, did they receive it? Was there anything, did they have any questions? Is there anything we can improve on? The ability for someone to do that is quite massive, and you don't underestimate how important that is. I know we worked with one of the firms I work with, they got me involved with one of their clients as well. And this was a hairdressing salon. So you think about our partners, let's call it our females' hair tends to be quite expensive. So if any males are out there that have got partners and wives that go to the hairdresser, I know they can charge a lot of money for color, cut, blow waves, all these sorts of things. But you know what? If they get it wrong, they don't go back. So this was a strategy, again, that we put in place with one of the hairdressing salons. They had 2 salons, and we made sure that someone was calling the next day to see, one, if they were happy. If they were not happy for whatever reason, they would come in whenever they could come in, and to fix whatever would be done free of charge. That alone built client loyalty, and it was incredible, as opposed to, you don't know why people leave. And it's the same thing in your accounting firm. You can still continue to do that, because at the end of the day, sometimes when people leave, apart from maybe passing away, we don't know why they leave. We think it's cost. We don't know why they're leaving. But if you can find out, you can also build strategies to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I think the thing that I'd add to that, Paul, is that using that as a tool is great, but the responsiveness and the accessibility after that is paramount to that strategy being able to succeed. It's all very good to have the information, but unless you respond to it, nothing will happen.
Spot on. And similar to, for example, that survey went out, Matt from BMW called me the next day, we had things fixed, and suddenly I could potentially be buying a new car. And I don't really want to buy a new car, but I can potentially be buying a new car. So it's about the leads into the funnel. So, mate, let's look to wrap this up. That's fantastic. So to all of you that have joined us, thanks again. Rich, thank you. A lot of great thoughts, stories, opportunities for everybody listening to this. So that's a wrap for episode 5 of our Talking Numbers Mastering Profit Series 2. Stay tuned as we come to you next with episode 6. Thanks, Rich.
Take care.
Join us at Profitmaster. Passionate people, passionate careers.